making a masterboard. And the reason I want to do that before the tags and the journal cards is because we can use the masterboards for tags and journaling cards. So here, even though I have 2 pockets right here, this has been collaged in just a random way. This side here has 2, even though I have a pocket here, a tuck here. This is actually the page. This is part of the page that's under it. I am working on a collage masterboard for our cookbook journal. I filmed some of this a while ago and it didn't show up, so now I'm back again. I've just taken some magazine pages and some of the scraps that I have left over from where I've gotten to so far, and I'm basically just gluing them down. And this is a good way to use scraps. You can use big pieces, little pieces, doesn't really matter. They can overlap like I'm doing. I do want to come up to the edge though. Or they can just barely touch, depends on how you want to look, how you want it to look, but it's just a Mod Podge of everything. I am trying to turn mine around. Yeah, usually glue stick does not work this good for me, but it's working pretty good today. I'm using calendar pieces. It's hot and humid today. How is it where you're at? I hope it's better than what I'm getting. Which, you know, I guess it could be a lot worse, so I should, don't need to be complaining. I'm trying to stick this under there because I want to keep those little bumpy things, not the bump, the holes of that. Well, I guess I would have kept them anyway. The other one I was working on had some other stuff, so. And I'm just pulling out old papers from my junk pile over here to use as a glue book. I actually had thrown it in the garbage. I should have kept it out, but I didn't. So a collage book can be whatever you want it to be. You can have bright colors, mixed up colors, dark, bright colors, just whatever. I like this. This came out of a book. I'm going to put it on there just because I like it. It's not, I guess it could be kitchen-y because it could be your back porch with of your kitchen, but I'm going to put it right here. Herb garden, that's what I'm thinking. Herb garden. Surprisingly, this glue stick is working very well today because it's sticking to my finger pretty good. Sometimes I have problems with these things. So I'm looking for the smaller scraps right now to put on here because the others I might use as belly bands and stuff like that. And so this one would be a good Billy Bin, but since I have it, and I am trying to angle them where there's a little bit of contrast. I continue working and putting these pieces on this paper. As you can see, I've sped it up to about 4 times the speed of what I was doing. I'm just putting paper down, using different shapes and different sizes, tearing pieces, and trying to fill in the holes. In a collage board, that's all you do, is just continually put paper down, and you can layer them different colors, different sizes. A Masterboard, a lot of people actually say to make a copy of it, and I forget. I cut mine before I actually scan it or take a picture, or, well, I guess on here I have a picture. Now I've got my stamps and my ink out, and this is my favorite stamp, the great big one with all the print, newspaper print turned different ways. I just use it and I put different colors of ink on it and turn it around. This is my other Masterboard that I didn't have the video footage for. But I just kind of turn it around and keep going and putting more ink on the stamp. And just giving it some texture, and not texture, but giving it more visual appeal. I've got my flowers. Here I'm stamping on both of them at the same time instead of wasting on another piece of paper, and I put all 3. I usually do work like this when I'm doing Masterboards. I try to have more than one when it comes time to do the stamping, because it makes it much easier. You can do the stamping on 3 at a time, 2 at a time, you know. Let's see, right there I did 3. And this is one of my other favorite stamps. I don't know why, but it's just the shape of it and the crispness. So now I'm going to use these apothecary stamps, and I'm just inking up the same thing like I did with the other ones, and just moving around on all 3 of them. There I stamped onto the I don't even know what it's called now. The brown stuff, and I've changed stamps again, and I'm just basically putting it down and wherever it goes. Now that I'm finished with the stamping, I'm getting my cutting board out, but first I'm going to show you this. What, I don't know if it's a journaling card because I don't think you can really write on it, but I took scrapbook paper and glued aluminum foil on it and embossed it. Then the tag is from Christie's Printables on Facebook. She gives you a lot of free ones, and that was one of them. I put it on cardstock to make it thicker. And then here I bring it back because I'm wanting to emphasize that you don't want to send just a piece of paper, regular copy paper, weight for tags. It makes them floppy. We are asking that you have somewhere around like a cereal box weight on your tags and things. So I'm getting ready to cut my Masterboard out, and I realized that it was way too big to go in my trimmer, so I'm just taking my scissors and cutting it in half. Then I'm going to find a side that's halfway straight. Well, I'm cutting it in the middle first, And then I'm straightening up my edges with just a very small little sliver of paper that I trim off to make it square. And then I'm looking to see what size it is. And this first one, I cut a journaling card down to 4x4. And the two pieces that are left, I'm going to use for tags or possibly journaling cards. Could be tuck spots. All kinds of things that you can use for the different sizes. And I just continue to trim these around and then cut them in varying sizes. I'm cutting them in different sizes because I'm actually making a bigger book, so I need bigger journaling cards than I normally would. Usually I'd probably make them about 3x4. Some of these are 4x5. I think a few more I made bigger. So I just go to the next piece and start with the straight edges and just estimate. You can cut them all the same length, or you can do like I'm doing and just estimate and cut. And see there I have some smaller ones and bigger ones. But I think you get the idea here, so I'm not going to keep going on and on. I am going to go on to the next step. So after I've cut all of the Masterboard up, I'm getting my Fruit Loops side, and I'm going to make another card. I'm just trimming it up to where I have a good size. So I also get my Chex Mix box, and I'm trimming it. So these are going to be journaling cards. And I'm kind of going with the angle of the print on the box to give it some definition, I guess, or some interest. And there are two recipes that I'm going to put in there as a journaling card. And now I'm looking at these, just kind of laying them out as to what I've got and where I may want to do journaling cards or tags. So I got quite a few different journaling card sizes, and they can be cut down into tags if I need them. And I'm kind of feeling to see how thick these are with that particular paper on the back. And I do go ahead and put some extra paper or glue the paper on there, and I realize that one of the cardstock papers I used had some Halloween stuff. Now I'm cutting my tag shape. I cut a triangle from one corner, and then I used the same triangle and turned it face toward the tag on the other corner to get that tag shape. And now I'm looking to see if I find some more scrapbook paper that's it's not thick scrapbook paper, but it is thicker. And I'm taking these thin ones that I feel like they're too thin and gluing them down to the right side. That way the back side has a plain writing space that you can write on. So it is thicker than what I had without it. And I'm doing my corners again and taking that edge and putting it on the other side as a template to make sure they're the right size. And once again, I'm just gluing this tag down to some more cardstock to make it, give it a little bit more strength. And just keep going. And as I burnish them down and try and squish the glue in there, and I'm just like a puzzle again. I'm looking for different sizes that fit to utilize that paper, and then I trim them out. And here in a minute, I'm going to show you what I felt like I didn't like my tag shape. I'm going to show you what I did to fix it. I'm just trimming the corners off right now, the little pieces. See here, I'm making that tag again, and the top part just looks too big. So I cut off a little bit of the top and made it shorter to look like a better tag. And I just continue trimming up those and put them on to more cardstock to make them a little bit thicker. Now that I have the tag shapes, I've gotten my crocodile out, and I'm using, at first I do the 1/8 inch hole punch, and it was crooked on top of being too small, and I decided to turn it over to the 3/16 side, which gave it a bigger hole, and then I repunched this one, and it's still crooked, but it looks better. And I'm just showing how I'm making them into tags. Normally you don't have to put grommets in, but I wind up doing that just to kind of show you how I was doing them. And I change it over to be the 3/16 side closures to make this close. And you see I stick it in there and then just squeeze it down, and it makes the middle flat in the back so that it gives more stability. So there's a little knob or thing from the inside of that goes in the hole of the grommet, and as you squeeze, it pushes the other end and flattens it out. So if your tags are sturdy enough, you really don't need the grommets. These really didn't need them. Decoration and just for showing you guys how to put them on. So now I'm back to my journaling cards with the cereal boxes and recipes. I've got a piece of coffee dyed paper that I'm going to put on the back of this for writing, so that if you wanted to write another recipe on the back, you wanted to write yourself a note, or just journal about how your day went. And when I put this on there, I do make sure that I use the foam folder to burnish it down, and I just trim it to match the size of my cereal box. And there's one card done. Then I get the other one out and I play with this piece of paper and turn it around, and it actually, because I cut the two pieces from each other, that will go on that particular angle pretty good. It's got a little left at the top, which I trim off later, and I just go and burnish this down again and trim the excess coffee dyed paper off. And they make it that's a very good sturdy journaling card that I can put in to my cookbook. Then I'm just going around and inking it, distress inking it, because I've already started that with other parts of this cookbook. And I'm going to do the same with the tags. And the next video, I'm going to talk about envelopes and also go over embellishing these tags and journaling cards and stuff in your pages. Try to do clusters. I'm not really great at clusters, but we'll work on it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video or learned something. As always, please hit the like button. And if you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button so that you get the next video that comes out on the envelopes and embellishments.